you guys are our first class. How fun. Just to remind you, my name's Betsy, that's Julie, and we're here with Eco Science. Let me use this fancy little projector you have for a minute. Tell me if you can see what I'm writing.
No.
Hold on a minute. Remember, just like with Mrs. Max, sometimes I have to write stuff and then I have to look and move it. It's okay.
Yeah. Look at that. Eco. That is what we are all about. And I'm going to tell you guys something. Did you know that each letter in Eco stands for a different word? Check this out, okay? Ecology. Now this is a very fancy word. This is a certain kind of science. And I'm wondering if anybody wants to take a guess at the type of science that this is. Does anybody have a wild guess? Who has a wild guess? About the Earth. Hey, guess what? He's right. That's exactly what ECO is all about. We are nature science. Can you guys say that?
Nature science.
Yeah, ecology is the study of nature. And what kind of things do you find in nature? Can anybody think of something you might find in nature?
Leaves and grass.
Leaves and grass, absolutely.
Animals.
Animals, definitely. That little girl over there.
A girl.
Girl, that little girl over there. What
She's
else?
our classroom dog.
Plant.
Plants, definitely. Did you have your hand up? You think good. Okay.
Trees.
Trees, what else?
Rabbits.
Rabbits, sure, I love rabbits.
Yeah.
Pine cones, I love pine cones, yes. Magma. Look at that fancy science word. What's magma?
Lava.
Yeah, it's lava when it's inside of the volcano, when it's in the earth, right?
Or rocks.
Yeah. You guys have so many good guesses. Hold those thoughts. Ecology is all about nature, and it sounds like we have a lot of natural experts here. We're very excited to hear that. Now, the rest of these words stand for where we like to study ecology. And I'm wondering if you can guess this first one. I'm going to give you a hint. It starts with a C, and we're in one right now.
Class.
Classroom, yeah. And my personal favorite, it starts with an O. It's not inside, but
Outside.
what do you think?
Outside.
Outside. Okay. So do you guys get what ECO's all about now? Oh, good. Okay. So we have a really fun lesson today, and I want to jump right into it. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Now, we're going to study something called a habitat. Raise your hand if you've ever heard the word habitat before. Raise your hand if you want to share with us what is a habitat. Can you define that word for me? What do you guys think?
It is a certain creature has a different habitat.
Yes. Okay, does anybody want to add to that? You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Habitats are like plants and places like grass.
Places, definitely. Plants can be in those places. Yeah, do you want to add to that?
Habitats are for homes for creatures.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Habitats are places where animals live. And what we're going to do today is we're going to investigate some habitats, and then we're going to play a game. Oh, what do you guys think? Sound good? Okay, let's check out this habitat. Now, there's something I need to tell you guys about ECO that's very important. When ECO comes, we don't study faraway places. We study the place that we live. Have you ever heard of this place we live called the Pacific Northwest?
Yeah.
Have you heard of that? That's the region of the United States that we live in the Pacific Northwest. So we're going to study nature in the Pacific Northwest. So where do you think our habitats are going to be found? Oh, yes, you're very right, sir. In the Pacific Northwest. So let's take a look at our first habitat. And tell me if you maybe can think of what this habitat might be called. What could you call a habitat like this? Anybody want to take a guess? Yeah.
Forest.
It's a forest. Would you guys agree with that?
If you agree with that, we show a thumbs up.
Ooh, I like that. Give me a thumbs up if you agree. I agree. I'm giving 2 thumbs up. I agree with that. Now, in a forest, what kind of plants might you find in this forest habitat? What do you think? Ooh, leaves, definitely. What do you think?
Bushes.
Bushes, definitely.
Trees.
Absolutely. question, are the trees big or little in this particular forest habitat?
Big.
Really big, right? How can you tell they're big?
Or some of them.
Does anybody want to take a guess? How can you tell by looking at this picture that the trees are big? What do you think?
It stretches and you can't see the leaves on the top of the tree.
Sure, so it's stretched out, you can't see the leaves up there. What about that animal standing in the habitat? Do you see that animal right there? He's wearing a yellow coat.
It's an animal.
Wait a second, are people animals?
Yeah.
Trick question. They are.
I know.
We are animals. It's a true fact. We are animals.
I know.
It is
We're
true.
mammals.
It's kind of crazy to think about
We're
that.
mammals.
We are mammals, as a matter of fact. We are. Now, question for you about this forest habitat. Is there water in this forest habitat?
No. Sometimes there is. If it is a big sometimes there
Kind
is.
of a trick question. Do you want to help us out with this?
There cannot be water in the
There can't be?
Yeah,
Not nice.
Why do you think? Why can't there be?
My grandma says there's rocks, there's always a pond.
Sometimes there are rocks and ponds. What about something, I'm thinking of something that can sometimes fall from the sky. And I'm telling you, we have a lot of this in Portland, Oregon. What is it?
Rain.
It's rain. Rain makes plants grow. Guess what? To have big plants, do you know what you need? Lots and lots and lots of rain. And some sunshine too. And some sunshine too. Hold those thoughts. So we know that we have rain. So what kind of weather, it sounds like you guys are studying weather. What kind of weather do you think you would find in this forest habitat? What do you think?
I think I would find sun.
You'd find some sunny weather and some
Rain.
rainy weather. Definitely. Okay. Very good. Let's take a look here at this next habitat. You can also find this in the Pacific Northwest. I'm going to give you a hint. You can often see this mountain from Portland, Oregon. What mountain are we looking at? What do you think? Oh, it's a snowy mountain, definitely. It has a certain name. It's called Mount. For quiet houses out there. Mount Hood. That's right. That's Mount Hood. Now, is there water on Mount Hood?
No.
Good question. Let me just tell you that water isn't always liquid and flowing. Sometimes it's frozen. What kind of water do we find here? Absolutely. Do we find a lot of snow? Yeah, like a whole lot of snow up there. Do you think it would be good to have a snowball fight up there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Also, it have to be cool.
Sledding, definitely. Do you want to add to that?
How many trees grow if there's snow?
What a wonderful question. How can trees grow on the mountains if there's snow? Guess what? Did you know that there is not snow all year long where those trees are? Sometimes it melts in the summertime. And it melts just enough so that those trees can grow. But if you get up high enough, do you notice how there are no trees? That's because it's so snowy all the time. And it's so high up that the trees can't grow that high up. So what kind of animals do you think you would find on the snowy mountain? What kind of animals might you find in the snowy mountain? What do you think? Well, polar bears you might find at the North Pole, but Mount Hood isn't quite that high up. What kind of animals do you think you might find here? What do you think?
I think deer on the snow.
You think deer? Guess what? You're absolutely right. Did you know that there are deer up there?
Yeah.
There definitely are. Now, what about somebody that might like to hop, hop, hop?
Rabbits. Snow rabbits.
Snow rabbits? Sure. What else might you find up here? Yeah. Okay, you forgot. Okay, what do you think? Well, what a good guess. Penguins are in the South Pole. Far away from here, but they like snow, so you're on the right track. Yeah.
Snow owls.
Snow owls. Fabulous guess. You're absolutely right. Do you think that in the springtime you might see some of this snow flowing? Do you think it might melt a little bit and flow away? I think it could. I think it could. Let's look at another habitat. Ooh, I love this one. It's a beach habitat. It is a beach habitat. And there's something very interesting about Did you notice that over here is the beach, but what's up here?
A tree.
Trees. So could we call that a little forest?
Yeah.
So are we actually looking at two habitats?
Yeah.
Yes, we are, and there's a special name. When two habitats meet, there's something called an edge. That's the space that they meet. And there's a fancy word for an edge. Are you ready for it? Ecotone. You say that? Ecotone. That's the edge between two habitats. Who wants to give me an animal that lives, maybe they live here, maybe they live in the water, or maybe they live in a forest. There are all different kinds of animals that could live here in this ecotone, or these different habitats. What do you think?
Starfish.
A starfish. Raise your hand if you've seen a starfish at the Oregon coast. I love starfish. What else? What could live around here? Yeah.
Fish.
A fish could live in the water, definitely. What else? Ooh, a shark. You think a shark lives out there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Deep enough you could see tide.
Oh, yeah. What else?
Where?
I don't know if we have any of those quite close to Oregon, but they're definitely out there in the ocean.
Yep.
Definitely. Yeah.
Jellyfish.
Jellyfish. Yep. What else?
Shells.
Shells. What lives inside shells?
I hate cats.
What could live inside of a shell? What do you think?
Crabs.
Ooh, a crab has a shell on it. Yeah.
Turtle.
Ooh, a turtle does, definitely. Now, what could live maybe on the sand, but maybe not in the water? What do you think?
Crab.
Ooh, a crab? Definitely. I like the way you think. Very good. What about like a little bug that might live in the driftwood there? Do little bugs live in there?
Yeah.
I have actually seen little bugs in driftwood on the ocean before.
Like
Interesting.
ants.
Do you think some birds?
Ants
Do
fly.
you guys think some birds could live around here too? What kind of birds might you see? What kind of birds might you see? What do you think?
Seagull.
Oh, seagull, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what else?
Blue jay.
Well, you could maybe see a blue jay. It's possible maybe in the forest up there. Yeah, what do you think?
I've seen one. Eagles.
Ooh, an eagle, absolutely. I have seen eagles at the ocean before. Okay, are you ready for the next habitat?
Yeah.
Okay, let's check it out. Oh! Raise your hand if you want to tell me what this habitat could be called. What do you think?
I think the frog needs the water.
I think the frog could live in that water. Absolutely. What can we call that habitat?
Lake pond.
Ooh, it's like a lake, but it's smaller than a lake. What do you think?
River.
Ooh, now this is a really good guess because it's a lot of water, but it's not moving. It's standing still. And we can tell that because there's a really nice reflection, just like a mirror on the surface. When water is moving, it doesn't reflect things quite as well sometimes. It's staying still. What do you think it is?
Lake. I mean river. Pond.
Pond! Exactly!
Pond.
Your brain was just figuring it out. Yeah? You were thinking of lots of different
I could have
habitats.
said that 1 minute ago.
Yeah. Now that pond, somebody already mentioned that a frog could live in that pond. What else could live in a pond habitat? What do you think?
Fish.
Ooh, fish, definitely. What else? What might live like on a little log floating in the water?
Frog.
What do you think?
Dragonfly.
Yes, absolutely. Dragonflies are going to be flying around here. What else might live around here? Ooh, a tadpole. Do you think there are tadpoles there?
Yeah.
There are frogs, there are tadpoles. What else?
Flies.
Flies, what else? You think, okay?
Okay, germs.
Could there be germs there?
Yeah.
Guess what? There can be germs everywhere. Whoa, crazy. Yeah,
Ducks.
ducks. Very good. Now, do you guys see an ecotone in this habitat?
No.
I see a pond. What else do you see? What else do you see? I see a forest. So it's an ecotone or an edge between the two habitats, definitely. What kind of weather do you think we might have at this habitat? What kind of weather do you think we might have? What do you think? Ooh, there could be grass there, but I'm thinking of weather. Like rain or sunshine or snow. What do you think? Ooh, there could be cloudy weather by a pond. I've often seen cloudy weather. There's a lot of water here. What do you think? There could be a lot of rain by a pond. Very good. Let's keep moving because I won't have time without making any conflict, okay? Oh, this is an interesting habitat. Interesting. What is it? Good guess. It's actually not. You can believe it. It's not a desert. Let me help you to interpret what you're seeing. So there are some trees, and that middle part that looks a little bit almost like a desert is actually grass. So what's a habitat that we could call it's like a big open grassy area? What do you think?
Field.
Yes, a field would be a word. Are there any other words you can think of?
Plain.
A plain. Very good. What else?
It looks like a grass.
Yeah, grass. What else?
The cow.
Sometimes you see cows in grassy areas? Sure. Now, what about a meadow? Have you guys heard the word meadow? Yeah. So this could be like a little meadowland or a plain or a grassland or a field. Now, question for you. Do you see any water in this habitat?
Kinda in
This is
the
a
middle.
little bit of a tricky question.
It looks like a crack of water in the middle.
Guess what? You're absolutely right. It's a little stream flowing through the middle of the meadow. Now, do you think that we're like really low, like close to the ocean, or kind of more high up in the mountains? Look carefully at this picture. It's going to give you some hints and show you. What do you think? Who thinks is it high up in the mountains, or maybe low, like closer to the ocean? What do you think? Yeah. Do you guys see the little mountainy, rocky areas in the background there? That's telling us that it's high up in the mountains. In the mountains in the winter, what happens? It's snowy. So is it possible that there would be some snow here in the wintertime?
Yeah.
Interesting. What kind of animal do you think could live in this habitat? What do you think? Yeah, what do you think? Ooh, deer. Yeah. What about that little hoppy guy we were talking about?
Rabbit.
Yeah, rabbit. What about like a fox? Could a fox live here?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Let's keep going, everybody.
Oh,
Okay. Now we're talking here. What do we have? It's a desert. And in fact, it's a high desert. Did you guys know that there are parts of Oregon that look like this?
Yes.
Many people have never seen them before. Raise your hand if you've been to the high desert in Oregon. Well, I've been to the high desert in Oregon. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's a very different kind of habitat. Now, what's the weather like in the high desert of Oregon, do you think? Who wants to take a guess at what the weather is like in the high desert? What do you think? Ooh, it's hot. Yeah. It can be hot. In the winter, does it get cold in the desert?
No.
Trick question. It does. Did you know it can even snow in the desert? I'm not even kidding you. It can snow there. It's pretty amazing. So question, is there any water in the desert?
No. Only cats.
I gave you another trick question.
Yeah.
I gave you another trick question because there's actually a little bit of water. Sometimes it rains there. It doesn't rain very often in the desert, does it? But sometimes it does. And sometimes, have you guys ever woken up early in the morning and there's dew on the ground?
Yes.
That little wetness, those little dewdrops, little drops. It almost looks like it rained but didn't rain. Have you guys ever seen that?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? That happens in the desert too. So there's a little bit of water there. If there was absolutely no water, do you think any of those plants could live?
No.
No, the plants need at least a tiny bit of water. Do you think those plants are specialized to live in the desert? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Oh my goodness, what do we have here? What do we have here? It's a river, definitely. Does it have water? Oh yeah. What kind, what do you think?
Waterfall.
Well, it is a little rapidy waterfall. Yeah, I think you're right. It's a little stream. Do you, well, like, what kind of animals do you think live here? What do you think?
I think, maybe some,
What do you think? Ooh, a rabbit could live up on the edge there, definitely. What could live in the water here? What do you think?
fish.
A fish? What else?
Deer, fox.
What about a black bear?
Oh yeah, I was just about to say that.
I know.
This has
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
rainforest. I know.
it's
I know
temperate
that,
rainforest
but
in Oregon. You're totally right.
I know
What?
that, but
Tell me.
the deer go to live in
animals. We are mammals, in fact. And this is one of the types of habitats that we live in, right? That's much better. Raise your hand if you've ever seen a raccoon in the city. Raise your hand if you've ever seen a bat in the city. Raise your hand if you've ever seen a hawk in the city. So are there all different types of animals that can live in a city habitat? Okay, guess what? I think you guys are kind of experts on habitats at this point. Are you ready to play our game?
Yes. Question.
You have a question? Yes.
Did you take all these? Did you take pictures of all of these?
Good question. These pictures came from the internet. We Googled them. Okay, so here's what's going to happen.
Everything you want.
Listeners, boys and girls, Smitty, sit down, please. William, sit down, please.
What you guys are going to do is you are going to have one of these habitats. Do you remember all those different habitats we saw?
Yep.
We have a whole huge pile of those habitats, a whole bunch of them. And they might look something like this. And you are going to get a habitat pinned to your back. And it's a secret. You're going to have to figure out what kind of habitat you want by asking your neighbor questions. Now, Julie and I are going to demonstrate how this works. So what we're going to do...
Show me what place is in the side. Thank you.
Wait, are they the pokey pens?
No, what we're going to do, I'm going to put one on Julie's back, but she doesn't know, so don't tell her. She doesn't know what habitat I'm putting on her back right now. And she's going to put one on my back. But I don't know what habitat she's putting on my back right now. Okay, and then what we have to do is we have to take these little lists of questions, and we have to ask questions to try to figure it out. So she's going to look at mine, and now I'm going to ask her a question. Julie, do I get a lot of rain in my habitat? What do you guys think? Okay, now it's her turn to ask me a question. Okay. Let's see what she has.
I didn't see.
Let's see. Are there a lot of animals in mine?
Yes.
Yes, of all varieties. Okay, does mine have flowing water? Flowing, moving water.
Moving water?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of it?
Yeah. Yes.
A lot of flowing, moving water and a lot of rain. Okay?
Do I have standing water? Water that's not moving, like a pond or something?
No.
I don't see any water directly in your picture. And then we're going to keep going and going until we figure it out. Okay? Now here's the trick. Do you think you want to look over at her back and say, hey, you have the same picture as you have? You don't want to do that because then she can look at his back and guess what her habitat is. Okay?
So you want to keep it a secret?
And you're going to use these questions on these sheets to figure it out. Are you guys ready? Well, yeah, you guys can go ahead and have partners, and we're going to link them to your back. You guys just hang tight on the carpet.
Brandon, who's your partner?
Okay?
Why don't you go with the blue card?
I don't want to have a Hey,
You do get a partner. You can't play the game without a partner or blue card. So Brandon is going to be your partner. Doc, whose partner are you going to be? Guys, you've got to figure it out, or I'll just decide for you. So, So, do you need a partner next year? Do you want to be your partner, or would you like to be your partner? Do you want me to be your partner? Okay. I'm willing to be your
Okay,
partner
can you
then.
come over here, bring your back over here?
Sit down. So did you work out whose partners?
Okay, well, all we
You have
have
to have a partner, Ian. So, Doc and William are your partners. So Ivan, Tawnish, your partners. Tanya. Oh, you know what? Guess what? Trayvon was in the bathroom. He's a partner. His partner. Because I don't want him to not have a partner. Will you be Trayvon's partner? Awesome. You want him to come over?
Okay, raise your hand if you're ready for paper. Raise your hand.
Alright, so Todd, who's your partner? You and Ivan. Do you and Ivan want to come over here and sit near me so I can help you? Why don't you guys come, take your questions there, Ivan, and come sit over here with me. That way I can help you.
Okay.
Okay. I know, it might be a little hard. Ileana, where should you be? Right. Okay. You guys have a lot of questions. Okay, so you guys have paper. You girls have blue. Can you share it? And give one to Nazir and give one to Savannah. So you guys only. Alright, try to leave it on. So Nazir, can you politely ask for some questions? I know it's what you do. Ask for the question on paper. So right there, you're asking okay. Did you get the questions right here? Good job. Hang it on tight, ready? Alright, one for each of you. So now think about what question can you ask Nazir. Nazir, look at Trayvon's picture. Nazir, look at Trayvon's picture.
You've already asked a few questions on your sheet. You can start
What do
guessing
you want
what
to
else
know
that
about
is.
Do I get
It's got standing water. It does not
Do I get
So you want to know, is it a dry house? Is it a dry house? Is it a dry habitat? Come on, I'm not going to tell you what it is. Look at Ivan. He asked the question. He wants to know, is that a dry habitat? No, it's not a dry habitat. Okay. So what would you do? Do you get really hot? Show him your videos. So do you get really hot? No. So what would you like to know, Ivan? Do you have, show me the question. How good are you? Awesome. So I have water. You can ask them what you want. Tell me what your Sean's you guys Does he have lots of plants?
Water in your house.
Come on, you gotta tell him. What do you want to ask Sean?
You got the forest.
What do you want to ask? You guys figured it out? High five, nice idea. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Excellent boy. Thank you. Good.
Helper.
Right,
I'm
you're
Standing water.
Oh,
It's not flowing, it's standing. And
okay, now you have